Fulfilling your goals. Where there is a will, there is a way. If there is a chance in a million that you can do something, anything, to keep what you want from ending, do it. Pry the door open, or if need be, wedge your foot in that door and keep it open. Out of all the skills that exist, the one skill that rules them all is goal setting. We humans are naturally goal-seeking creatures. The key is knowing what your goals are. Back in the past, our goals were pretty clear. Get shelter, ward off predators, hunt down food, and stay hydrated and alive. With that information, our ancestors' brains were able to track a course to accomplish those goals. Think. You essentially have the same goal as your ancestors, but your line of thinking is drastically different from theirs because your basic survival needs are presumably taken care of. Your ancestors could have thought like you, but only if their environment was similar to yours. Today, we have multiple priorities that overlap at various levels. We often don't know which goals to tackle first. Sometimes we don't even know what to tackle since we aren't clear about what it is we want to accomplish. However, setting goals and setting priorities for them will clear up your thinking to the point that you can accomplish more in 5 years than most people accomplish in 20 years. There's a study, more of an urban legend, with Harvard MBA graduates and their income levels. The university is very selective, and those at Harvard are vetting to succeed, so it's expected that any graduate will be reasonably successful. But it's been claimed that 3% of the Harvard MBAs made 10 times more money than the other 97% combined. 1979, Harvard MBA program. Here's the reason why. Certain groups of people set goals and others didn't. 84% had no specific goals. 13% had goals that they kept in mind, but not on paper. 3% had clear, specific goals that were written on paper with a plan for their achievement. When the interviewers followed up 10 years later, here's what they found. The 13% group with vague goals collectively earned double that of the 84% no goals. The 3% goals with a plan collectively earned 10 times that which the other 97% were earning. Am I a bit incredulous about this study? Sure, but I've noticed enormous differences in my own life when I've set goals and taken sensible steps toward their accomplishment. The point is that setting goals is crucial, but there are some other conditions to fulfill. This section will help you finally figure out your goals and then give you strategies to achieve them. The concepts will be briefer and give you concise pointers. Let's begin. How to properly set goals. Press forward. Do not stop, do not linger in your journey, but strive for the mark set before you. When it comes to writing goals, the average person has no idea how to do it. The main assumption is that you should have a general idea of what you want to accomplish. Wrong. Here is a quick list of conditions to properly goals. They must be specific and measurable so that your subconscious mind can work with the goal and find ways to accomplish it. They must be written on paper. This stimulates the mind-body connection between your mind and your pen. They must be written at least once a day to insert the message deep into your mind. They must be written in the present tense. Your subconscious mind does not conceptualize past or future, only the present. For example, I weigh 150 pounds and am 10% body fat. I enjoy an abundance of energy and vitality. They have a realistic deadline. Having a sense of urgency will lead you to react, but too much time, x 10 years to make $100, will not be engaging. Here is a list of good examples of goals. I earned $3,000 USD per month by teaching jazz and tap dance lessons to people in Chicago. I am married to a beautiful, intelligent, loving, interesting, ethical woman. We are deeply in love and fall deeper in love every day. I play the flute like an expert by practicing 1 hour a day learning scales, technique, improvisation, and taking lessons from an expert. Here is a list of bad examples for goals. I teach dance lessons and make plenty of money. I will someday get married to someone who will put up with my crap. I play the flute real good. Let's suppose you've written a list of 10 concrete goals that you'd like to accomplish in 12 months onto a piece of paper on January 1st. If you fold that paper, put it away, and open it up again next December 31st, you'll find that you've accomplished 6, 7, or even 8 of those goals. This is because your mind is a goal-seeking organism, and when it has the right materials, goals, and positive expectations, your subconscious mind will do the work behind the scenes to figure out how to accomplish it. When you write your goals every day on paper, you're reaffirming to your mind that these goals are what you truly want to accomplish, and not a fleeting wish. Consider this the small price to pay to guide your mind toward accomplishing your hopes and dreams. You will add a word here, or change your choice of words, and they will become laser sharp. Exercise. Get a piece of paper, better yet, buy a journal for your goals. Figure out a list of 10 goals that you'd like to accomplish in the next 12 months. Write your 10 goals out on a page of your journal. Every day, write those 10 goals on a different page. Do this without referring to yesterday's page. The wording of your goals will become more specific as you spend more time thinking about it. How to accomplish your goals. You see things, and you say, why? But I dream things that never were, and I say, why not? Now that you've selected a set of goals that you'd like to accomplish, we can put into place a strategy that will ensure that you will achieve them. Division. If you set 10 goals, you could try to accomplish all 10 goals over 1 year. However, it spreads your focus thin and cuts into your time and energy budgets. Instead, you can find a way to divide your year into sections and focus on only a few goals with total focus. This will let you keep your year interesting with different sets of goals, yet give you enough time for all of them. My favorite strategy is to divide the 12-month calendar year into 4 quarters of 3 months each. I refer to these quarters as Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4. For example, 1 goes from January 1st until March 31st, 2 goes from April 1st until June 30th, 3 goes from July 1st until September 30th, 4 goes from October 1st until December 31st. You may certainly divide the year into 3 4-month blocks, Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3, or 2 6-month blocks, half 1, half 2. Divide your year according to how much work is required for each project you undertake. Main projects. In each of these blocks, it's recommended that you focus on only 2 main projects, all while doing other maintenance tasks. 2 main projects are enough to keep your mind occupied for 3 months, all while keeping you focused. If you had 3 or more projects, you wouldn't have enough time or energy to make real progress in all of them. Some examples of a main project: intense work, projects working towards a promotion, kickstarting an online business, increasing income, university studies, running for public office, training for a fitness bodybuilding showcase, speed dating/finding a relationship, improving language skills, X, going from intermediate to advanced in 3 months, improve cooking skills to a high level, learning 30 new dishes, learning to hike, taking classes and practicing them, photography, editing, karate, learning a new instrument, entering a competition training, reading 10 books on a subject. While you have these 2 main projects, you can certainly have many side projects, such as practicing a few minutes on a skill that you've acquired so that you won't lose progress. If you work a full-time job, that should still be a priority. If you are self-employed, you can choose how to prioritize work to meet your goals. And if you divide the year into quarters and have 2 main projects going at a time, you'll be able to work 8 projects per year. If you divide the year into thirds and have 2 main projects going at a time, you'll be able to work on 6 projects per year. If you divide the year into halves and have 2 main projects going at a time, you'll be able to work on 4 projects per year. 6-month projects are quite long, and it may become difficult to keep your momentum, so consider using quarters to start building confidence when it comes to accomplishing your goals. You might also underestimate the time it takes to accomplish one goal, so it might carry over into the next quarter. Throw your hat over the fence. If you want to guarantee that you'll achieve a goal, you can engineer your life to make it more uncomfortable to not take action. One effective technique is using some form of leverage to compel you to follow through. Often, this is in the form of money. Here's the formula. I. Set a goal that you want to achieve. 2. Find a person whom you trust and give them some leverage over you. X. Have them hold $100 of yours. 3. Set up an agreement with them that you will perform some action related to your goal every day. Oregon else. View. If you fail one day, the person gets to spend your money as quickly as possible. They'll get even more of your money to keep leverage over your head. If the leverage is strong enough, the consequence is that you'll feel enormous motivation to do what it takes to avoid losing money. If you have to choose between running 4 miles each day or losing $100, running 4 miles seems like less of a big deal. So you'll go for a run. Another way to gain leverage over yourself is to sign up for some sort of competition related to it. It's said that the greatest way to get into shape is to join a fitness competition. This is because you're immediately forced to figure out all the factors related to fitness. Number of calories. Macronutrient proportions. Getting to the gym. Bulking versus cutting. Increasing strength. Recovery. Maximizing hormones naturally. Supplements. Getting a coach. Reaching a deadline. Would you think about these things if you were casually interested in losing weight or getting into shape? I don't think so. Other forms of leverage include accountability partners who compel you to do what is necessary. This could mean friends or even coaches who won't accept your excuses. Exercise. Divide your next 12 months into quarters, thirds, or halves. Choose 2 main projects for each of those units, quarters, thirds, according to their best use. Example, get a beach body for Q2, which leads into summer. Build an online business during Q4 as you'll be spending more and more time indoors. Figure out the best uses of your time, energy, and money to help figure out which steps to take, how much action is required, and at what times of the day you should do them. The power of your environment. Like success, failure is many things to many people. With a positive mental attitude, failure is a learning experience, a rung on the ladder, and a plateau at which to get your thoughts to prepare to try again. Though you want to change, you have environmental cues in your environment telling you to stay exactly the way you are. This is not a bad thing, as it gives you a feeling of comfort and normalcy, but you can learn how to use your environment to help you improve yourself. The book, The Power of Habit, shows how our environment gives us cues. If those cues become connected to some sort of stimulus, a reward, by repetition, simply seeing the cue will make you desire the reward, enough to make you act. For example, you walk home after a long day. Your first instinct is to sit on your favorite chair and turn on the TV. You see the chair, and knowing how comfortable it is, you walk over and sit down. Then, you see the remote. Knowing how entertaining it is, you reach over, grab the remote, and turn on the television. Next thing you know, you've spent 2 hours on the couch. In this example, you have 2 environmental cues, the chair and the TV remote. Your environment takes a few forms. There are physical environments and psychological environments. Physical environments include your living space, your car, your gym, your workplace, and any physical space that surrounds you. Psychological environments include settings that modify how you react when you're stressed, when you're tired, when you're aroused, when you're bored, etc. This includes what you watch on TV, what you listen to on the radio, what you read, and any other medium that enters your mind. They also include your friends who have an impact on your choices and actions. In your physical environment, if you keep plenty of cookies, chocolates, and snacks, and very few fruits, vegetables, and grains in the house, you will probably find yourself snacking on junk food. Ease. If those snacks were no longer there, you would feel compelled to eat an apple or something healthier. In your psychological environment, if your friends are pro-war and they speak about their views all the time, you will eventually find yourself agreeing with those views. If you read magazine articles written by promoters of war, those views will be in your mind. You have a few choices if you want to change your habits and change your environment. Here are a few ways on how. 1. Change your environment. Eliminate any signals or cues that will cause you to behave in a way you don't want to. If you want to stop watching television, you could begin by removing your TV remote to force you to get up to change the channel. Better yet, you can get rid of any chairs or sofas that are in front of the TV so that you either have to stand or sit uncomfortably. You could set a time limit that is strictly enforced. Or you unplug the TV every time you're done doing it and makes it difficult for you to plug it back in. Better yet, you could simply get rid of your TV. You can't respond to a cue that doesn't exist in your mind or environment. 2. Change your relationship to the environmental cues. You can keep the cues in your environment, but when the cue tempts you to act in your usual way, act differently. Example: when you crave pizza, drink water, eat an apple, and wait 15 minutes before going any further. Even by delaying the response, you're effectively changing your relationship to the cue. After enough repetitions, you will break the connection between the cue and your usual way of acting. A good example would be to change your alarm tone to a song that excites you and gets you pumped up. Or to move your alarm clock across the room so that you have to get up. There is an app you can put on your phone that forces you to answer complex math equations before the alarm tone turns off. This is one way to guarantee that you're awake in the morning. The internet is a great resource for finding specific tips to achieve small and specific goals. Waking up in the morning, going to bed, taking a cold shower, writing each day, etc. The power of focus. A dreamer can only find his way by moonlight, and his punishment is that he sees the dawn before the rest of the world. If the skill of writing goals is the most important, the ability to focus comes at a close second. The ability to focus makes the difference between a 100-watt light bulb and a 100-watt laser. One throws off light and heat in every direction, and the other can slice through metal. If you have issues with focusing, which I do from time to time, you'll know that it's very easy to waste an entire day diverting your attention in 1,000 different directions. If you were to focus on one task until completion, then you can move on to the next one, and the next one, etc. In our modern age, focusing on only one task at a time does not seem like an intuitive solution, especially since we have several levels of communication, several speeds of communication, decisions that depend on others, various deadlines, etc. Text messages are instant and often get an instant response. Mails take a little bit longer, phone calls interrupt, and regular mail is glacial but sometimes necessary. Sometimes your decisions depend on others who are not easily accessible, which means that focusing only on that task could lead to wasted time. You need to know what to focus on, when to focus on it, and in which situations to adapt. What to focus on. If anything, you should be focusing on your goals, which should include your work, your projects, and any other thing you've considered important. When writing a plan for any of these goals, You will have to zoom in and find daily activities that you must engage in. A lot of your troubles will be solved by a good old to-do list. List all the activities that you'd want to engage in for the day. One by one, focus on each activity and check off each element of the list. Each time you cross off your list, you will feel a great sense of satisfaction. When you've crossed off the last item, you'll have earned a break until the next day. When to focus on it. Time is an important factor for your goals. Consider not only your time and energy budget, but also the fact that other people have their own time and energy budget. For instance, most people won't be interested in taking a phone call at 3 a.m. Therefore, you will have to select your tasks according to their most appropriate times. There's only so much that you can accomplish in 1 hour, so you must try your best to pick the right activities for the most appropriate time of the day. For example, if you want to practice your instrument, but you live with people, you have to pick a time when those people are awake. No playing early in the morning, no playing late at night, no waking the neighbors. If you want to work on an online business with your laptop, you have much more flexibility related to time. Either 3 p.m. or 3 a.m. It doesn't matter because the task is quiet. It doesn't matter when you do it, as long as it doesn't bump off another more appropriate activity for that time. Strengthening focus. If you have difficulty using your focus, you must train it. Focus is like a muscle. Its power increases the more you use it. So, how do you use it? You have a few options: brute force, meditation, time management programs, or focus exercises. Brute force? You want to start writing a novel, but you have 3 videos you want to watch first. You want to answer your emails, and you're answering text messages. At this rate, you'll probably get to writing in 1 hour. Or, without consideration, turn off the video, close your mail, cast your phone off to the side, open your word processor, and start writing for a few minutes. After a few minutes of writing, your motivation to write your novel will take over, and you'll be able to keep up your pace. You've just used a quick burst of willpower to change your environment just enough to take action towards your goal. You could even motivate yourself with extreme statements. Remember the first concept. You will die. The question is, will you be meeting your goals or not? Dang, you don't want to die having been an accomplished watcher of a couple of cat videos. Dying a published author is much more honorable. Meditation. Meditation has several benefits: more presence, clarity of mind, and a feeling of refreshment. If done right, meditation also has the benefit of increasing your focus. Since you have removed all external stimulation, your mind will often be filled with distracting ideas, flowing feelings, and thought experiments. If you can learn to sit with these feelings, yet stay focused, many people focus on their breathing to do this, your focus muscle is exercised. There are plenty of excellent books and videos on meditation that you can explore to learn more if this is of interest to you. Time management programs. Though there are many time management programs, there are few that take into account our fleeting attention spans. There are some that I'm aware of which do. Did you know that after being interrupted at work, it takes you as long as 18 minutes to return to full productivity? That is, if you don't distract yourself with social media and other time sinks. Focus exercises. Here are a couple of focus exercises to help you build your focus muscle. 1. Stare at a spot. Sit on a chair and set a timer for 5 minutes. During that time, stare at a spot on the wall. Look only at this spot until the timer goes off. You can think or feel whatever you want, but you must be able to keep staring at the spot. After you're comfortable with 5 minutes, work up to 6, 7, and eventually 10 minutes. Going any longer than 10 minutes isn't necessary. 2. Stare at a candle. Sit on a chair in the dark. Light a candle and place it 6 feet away from you, on a safe and stable surface. Stare at the base of the candle as long as you possibly can. Measure how much time this takes. This exercise is uncomfortable and may make your eyes water. The real purpose of this exercise is to compel you to focus under mild stress. Take all safety precautions for this exercise. The rule for managing your expectations. Keep away from people who try to belittle your ambitions. Small people always do that, but the great make you feel that you too can become great. You may be motivated to accomplish a project and be fired up to start the steps, but after 3 or 4 weeks you may be wondering, what gives? Where are my results? This is to be expected, especially when results depend on other people. Most people have an unrealistic expectation of how long it takes to accomplish a goal. They believe it takes much less time than it does. For example, on average, how long does it take a person who desires to become a millionaire to do so? There will be people who expect it to take 1 or 2 years to gain $1 million in assets. The truth is that it often takes much longer. Some people are lucky and get it in 1 or 2 years, but much more often, it takes anywhere between 4 years and 40 years of focused work, sometimes even longer. There is a book called The 10X Rule. The main idea of this book is that our big dreams will take 10 times more time, more effort, and more money than we'd ever expect. This statement may or may not be true, but you should be willing to entertain that idea to be able to move forward with your head in the right place. The key is that if you're willing to accept the fact, you're more likely to succeed since you understand that there will be roadblocks in the way. Especially at the start, our actions aren't met with very much fanfare. But if you put in the time day after day, the benefits begin to pile up and you've built momentum. After enough time, your momentum can batter any obstacle. Another concept of Cardone's book is that you should set your goals 10 times larger so that you're more motivated to succeed. In my opinion, it's better to set realistic goals and achieve them before working on huge goals. If you like this style of goal setting, give this book a try. Get a teacher for everything that matters to you. Be miserable or motivate yourself. Whatever has to be done, it's always your choice. You've worked hard at your goals, and you begin to feel you know what you're doing. That is until you refer to someone further along in their purpose. These people are suitable as mentors. I've spent 9 years learning to sing by following along with audio programs. During this time, I had no regard for my breathing, my technique, or any other of those things. I simply tried to sing louder, higher, and faster. I had eventually hit a wall. I wasn't able to move any further ahead. I caved and got a voice teacher. This voice teacher kicked my ass and showed me all the areas that I failed to improve after many years. It's not like I didn't want to learn how to sing, but I simply believed that I was above the process. If I had simply gotten voice lessons from the start and had just aligned myself with the process, I would have reached levels of skill very much higher than I currently am. These mentors hold a more developed nexus of facts than you. Frankly, because they have spent more time learning, have set goals on the topic, achieved them, and have discussed more with others on the topic. In other words, they know what they're talking about. So whenever you can, get help from a teacher. Don't consider yourself above being tutored. The confidence that you develop will increase because you have a more competent person than you, affirming that you're taking the correct steps. You want to be the one asking plenty of questions, as you are the one on whom the success depends, attending classes, etc. Most will passively receive the information from their tutor and don't make much progress. You must be active, and a good coach/mentor will draw that out of you. Ask plenty of questions to make sure that you know what you're talking about. But if your mentor wants to be the one who lectures, let them. In short, you want to think of mentorship as testing your knowledge against a living, breathing expert in your field. This is greater than any book or audio program can provide, as they adapt to your questions in a way no inanimate object can. The price is rather meager compared to the price paid. Strengthen your self-confidence. Always keep your eyes open. Keep watching, because whatever you see can inspire you. If you don't feel up to your real goal, it is helpful to increase your self-confidence by first setting smaller goals that you are convinced you can achieve. With every successful experience, your self-confidence grows, and so you can soon venture to larger goals. Exercise regularly and keep fit. You will immediately feel more confident, attractive, and balanced. Also, try to laugh as often as you can. Laughing is known to be healthy and relieves tense situations. When you laugh, you look more attractive and likable to others and get more positive feedback. People tend to like to surround themselves with positive people. Reflect on your strengths and also on what you have already successfully mastered in your previous life. Be proud of yourself and always remember what you are grateful for in your life. It is most effective if you take at least 10 minutes and consciously write down everything for which you are grateful and what has made you happy or still makes you happy. You will be surprised how many things in your life have already gone well and how lucky you are. If you are grateful for your life and your experiences, you will feel rich and fulfilled, and will also attract fulfilling experiences. Make yourself aware of your lifetime. If the plan doesn't work, change the plan, but never the goal. We spend a large part of our life working, but if we don't enjoy it, it means that we spend a significant part of our lives with something we don't want. In the long run, this can only lead to negative emotions and even illnesses, and will certainly not make you happy, let alone successful. You will only be successful if you are absorbed in your work, and it gives you pleasure and fills you in what you do. So if you are not happy with your work, it might make sense to consider a change of profession. It's the same with your relationships. Be aware of how much of your precious lifetime you may spend with people or activities that do not make you happy, perhaps even unhappy. Are you comfortable in your apartment? Is your apartment a place of peace, relaxation, and harmony for you? If not, maybe you should think about a spatial change. Are you healthy and fit and feel good in your body? If not, you should do something as soon as possible. If you want to be completely happy, you should take a closer look at your entire life situation and make all the changes that are necessary to achieve your goals and fulfill your dreams. If you want to be successful, no matter in which area, you should invest as much time as possible in your success and your happiness. You should spend as much time as possible on things that make you happy and comfortable. Therefore, to achieve your goals, it is essential that you become aware of your lifetime and decide what your life should look like. Have you noticed that successful people are usually happier and happier, and some seem to run smoothly? Somehow the ability seems to be successful to generalize to other areas of life. But to make your life successful, you must become aware of your current life and your living conditions and make changes where you are not happy and satisfied. Find out what you want. You cannot save people, you can just love them. Those who want to realize their dreams must undoubtedly set themselves unambiguous goals. Whether professionally or privately, for you to be and remain successful, you need a clear objective. Have you already thought about what you want and what defining goals you set for yourself? If not, then a conscious examination of your self-defined and most important priorities and objectives is the first important step on your way to achieving your goals, because only those who know what they want will achieve it. So if you're still not sure what you want, you'll find here the first basic factor that prevented you from succeeding so far. Therefore, do not hesitate any longer and take the trouble to intensively deal with your dreams and wishes and the resulting goals, and to make yourself aware of where you stand and where you want to go. If you set yourself exact goals, you focus your concentration on the essentials and do not run the risk of getting lost in unmanageable emotional chaos. Furthermore, a clear objective strengthens your endurance and increases your motivation, which inspires you to peak performance. But what is the best way to find out what you want and what plans will help you move forward in your life and help you to be happy and satisfied? It is particularly important to bear in mind that you do pursue and realize your own goals and not the goals of others that they expect from you, because only then will you bring the necessary perseverance and motivation that is so fundamentally decisive in the implementation of your goals. So first of all, it is advisable to deal with his basic wishes and dreams to be able to formulate his goals. What has always given you pleasure? What are your strengths and talents, and what skills and abilities do you have? What have you been dreaming about for years? What do you need to be completely happy? How would you like to be? How do you imagine your life in the future? What if you could achieve anything you want to be or have? A suitable means to become aware of your wishes and goals is the method of brainstorming. This means that you write down everything that comes to mind about success, and you will be surprised how many ideas you have when you let it flow and just start writing uninhibitedly. Dream calmly, freely, and without limits, and let your ideas run free. It is completely irrelevant whether your wishes are currently realistic. The only important thing is that they are your wishes. Cross borders and be surprised at what unfulfilled desires you have. Don't stop until you really can't think of anything else, but devote at least 10 minutes to your brainstorming. Now you have a foundation of your wishes and desires and can start to build on them in structure and order the whole thing. Set priorities. Take your dreams seriously. After you have made a big step with your brainstorming toward your deepest heart desires and longings, it is time to take a closer look at your result. Sometimes we confuse wishes with emotions that are really behind them. It may be that you wish you had a lot of money, but in reality, you may wish you had unlimited development opportunities. Or you wish to be successful in your profession, although you don't like doing it at all and wish to be significant lasting changes in just 1 week is challenging. It is indeed possible to initiate positive shifts and lay the groundwork for long-term transformation. The key is to focus on small, manageable actions that align with your goals and set the stage for ongoing improvement. Keep in mind that the journey toward personal growth and change is often gradual and requires sustained effort over time. Here are a few tips to make the most of a 1-week transformational period. Prioritize. Identify the most crucial areas of your life that you want to address during the week. Focus on a few key goals rather than trying to change everything at once. Commit to small changes. Break down your goals into smaller, actionable steps. Focus on incorporating positive habits that are realistic to maintain. Create a daily schedule. Plan your days with intention, allocating time for specific activities related to your goals. Stick to your schedule as closely as possible to build consistency. Mindfulness and reflection. Take time each day for mindfulness and reflection. Assess your progress, adjust your approach if necessary, and celebrate small victories. Accountability. Share your goals with someone you trust, such as a friend or family member. Having someone to be accountable to can provide motivation and support. Limit distractions. Minimize activities that hinder your progress. Use this week as an opportunity to disconnect from negative influences. Positive mindset. Cultivate a positive mindset by focusing on what you can control and appreciating small wins. Challenge negative thoughts and replace them with affirmations. Adaptability. Be flexible and open to adjusting your approach based on what works and what doesn't. Embrace the learning process and view challenges as opportunities for growth. Remember that the goal is not necessarily to achieve complete transformation within a week, but to jumpstart positive changes and create momentum for ongoing improvement. Sustainable personal development often involves consistent effort and a commitment to long-term growth. Use this week as a catalyst for positive habits and mindset shifts that can set you on a path toward the changes you desire. What should be avoided? When attempting to make positive changes in a short period, there are certain pitfalls and common mistakes that you should try to avoid. Here are some things to steer clear of. Harder to sustain positive changes. Unrealistic expectations. Be realistic about what you can achieve in a week. Setting overly ambitious goals may set you up for disappointment. Ignoring self-care. Don't neglect your physical and mental well-being. Adequate sleep, nutrition, and self-care are crucial for overall health and resilience. Negative influences. Identify and minimize contact with people or activities that drain your energy or contribute to negativity. Skipping planning. Lack of planning can lead to disorganization and decrease the likelihood of success. Have a clear plan with specific achievable steps. Perfectionism. Avoid the trap of perfectionism. It's okay to make mistakes or not achieve everything perfectly. Learn and adjust as needed. Isolation. Don't isolate yourself during this period. Seek support from friends, family, or even online communities to share your journey and gain insights. Ignoring mental health. If you're dealing with mental health issues, don't ignore them. Seek professional help if needed and prioritize your mental well-being. Rushing the process. Real change takes time. Avoid the temptation to rush through the process and focus on building sustainable habits. Neglecting reflection. Reflection is crucial for personal growth. Take time to reflect on your goals, progress, and any adjustments that may be necessary. Comparison. Avoid comparing your progress to others. Everyone's journey is unique, and progress may look different for different people. Ignoring feedback. Be open to feedback from others. Constructive criticism can provide valuable insights and help you refine your approach. Remember, the goal is to make positive, sustainable changes over time. While a week can serve as a kickstart, ongoing commitment and gradual progress are key components of lasting transformation. Review about changing your thinking. Change your life. Change your thinking, change your life is a powerful concept that underscores the idea that our mindset and thought patterns play a significant role in shaping our experiences and outcomes in life. While I don't have specific information about a particular book or source with this title, the general philosophy is reflected in various self-help and personal development literature. The core principle is that by transforming negative or limiting thoughts into positive and empowering ones, individuals can create a more fulfilling and successful life. This involves cultivating a growth mindset, challenging unproductive beliefs, and fostering a positive outlook. Here are key points often associated with the change your thinking, change your life concept. Mindset matters. The belief that one's mindset is a powerful determinant of success and happiness. The distinction between a fixed mindset, believing abilities are fixed traits, and a growth mindset, believing abilities can be developed through dedication and hard work. Positive thinking emphasizes the impact of positive thinking on overall well-being, encourages individuals to focus on solutions rather than problems. Self-reflection advocates for self-awareness and reflection to identify and challenge negative thought patterns, recognizes the importance of understanding one's beliefs and how they influence behavior. Goal setting highlights the significance of setting clear, achievable goals, encourages individuals to align their thoughts and actions with their desired outcomes. Personal responsibility promotes the idea that individuals have control over their thoughts and, consequently, their lives. Encourages taking responsibility for one's choices and actions. Continuous learning emphasizes the importance of ongoing learning and personal development. Suggests that adopting a mindset of continuous improvement leads to a more fulfilling life. It's important to note that while changing one's thinking can be a powerful catalyst for positive change, it often requires ongoing effort, practice, and a commitment to personal growth. Different authors and speakers may approach these concepts in various ways, so it could be beneficial to explore multiple sources and find the approach that resonates most with you. Quotes for everyone. Certainly. Here are some quotes that resonate with the idea of making positive changes, personal growth, and the journey of transformation. It's not about perfect, it's about effort. And when you bring that effort every single day, that's where transformation happens. That's how change occurs. Jillian Michaels. The only way to do great work is to love what you do. Steve Jobs. Your life does not get better by chance, it gets better by change. Jim Rohn. The secret of change is to focus all your energy not on fighting the old, but on building the new. Socrates. The only person you are destined to become is the person you decide to be. Ralph Waldo Emerson. You have within you right now everything you need to deal with whatever the world can throw at you. Brian Tracy. It always seems impossible until it's done. Nelson Mandela. Don't watch the clock. Do what it does. Keep going. Sam Levinson. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. Lao Tzu. Be the change that you wish to see in the world. Mahatma Gandhi. Progress is impossible without change, and those who cannot change their minds cannot change anything. George Bernard Shaw. Life is 10% what happens to us and 90% how we react to it. Charles R. Swindoll. These quotes emphasize the importance of effort, embracing change, and taking positive steps toward personal transformation. They serve as reminders that change is a process, and every small effort contributes to the journey of self-improvement.